Hello, internet friends, and happy Monday. Today is September 26th, 2022. And if you are new around here, this is the Dailey Blend show, and this is normally the Friday Top 5, but we are recording it on a Monday this week because we were late last week and it pushed this week's show. But we're going to get back on track here. So you're going to get two weekly top fives. You're going to get the one today on Monday, and then you'll get the one on Friday the 30th. This week we've got, as always, 5 great stories that we're pretty fired up about. The first being talking about Canva. This is the Visual Editing Studio has launched their own Visual Worksuite. Apple drops 3 new watches that we're going to talk about in a little more detail. Polaroid enters the music space. Deadmau5 shows us all how to perform like we're Daft Punk. And A-Trak walks us through Serato Studio, so each one of you can go and make your own house track. Before we jump into the episode, just want to remind you that this is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and have all episodes downloaded automatically to your device. As always, we got that out of the way. Jump in, and let's get into this show. All right, so the first one we're talking about is Canva Visual Worksuite. And built with the modern workplace in mind, Canva Docs is the ultimate space for teams to collaborate and communicate. You'll be able to put together real-time documents, visuals, add comments, actions, plus you'll be able to control who has permission to view, comment, edit. Okay, so since launching in 2013, they've been working towards this sort of full suite, and they're really thrilled to launch it. And they've got docs, whiteboards, presentations, social media, video, print, and websites. All right, let me break down what the heck I just said. So Canva is like, I'll compare it, most people call everything Photoshop. It's actually Illustrator. But it's this whole suite of visual controls that has templates, that has color and brand guidelines. And if you jump from the free edition to, I think it's $12 a month, to the paid, you get to unlock, I would say 6, 8x in terms of the templates for visuals. So no longer are you, looking at the hex color and then changing each icon, tediously and having an icon library. I mean, everything just ticks and ties. So you drag your images into Canva, you drag them onto your template. The template can figure out the colors of the image. It could recommend which colors you use for your icons. There's a huge icon library. And that's just for images. And then you can jump into documents and make slick-looking documents and invites. I haven't played with presentations that much or videos, but that's on the agenda to try out some of the video editing. I've got Final Cut Pro. I don't have the Adobe suite. I've got the Affinity Design Suite, which is very similar, and I love it. But this is just faster. The workflow is just faster. And when I think about what is $12 a month? Yeah, it's adds up over time, but like it's 3 cups of coffee, 2.5 cups of coffee, depending on what you're ordering. And, I get back hours of time through Canva. So the fact that they're moving into video and more into presentations and docs is pretty cool. I have not tried their printing service, but you can actually take your images and have them printed on things like t-shirts and stickers. For Negronis with Greg, we're going to try printing for sure some stickers and likely some postcards and hoodies and t-shirts. So I'll let you guys know how that shakes out. But go check out Canva and their new Visual Worksuite. They do have the free tier. It works great. There's less features unlocked, I think. I'm not sure if you get the whole Visual Worksuite with the free version, but you get enough to see how it works, and I highly encourage you to go check it out. All right, so the next one is talking about how Apple goes big and bold with 3 new Apple Watches. And count them, 3. Yep, that's 3 of them. It's the largest, most comprehensive update to the top of the line smartwatch yet. And they came out with 2 devices that, look like every other Apple device that's come out. But this one, the third one, was the Apple Ultra, which is, a much more rugged device. Many of my friends are comparing it to the Garmin watch. So if you're like an outside runner or rider, this is like the watch for you. Let's talk about some of the tech spec upgrades. So it includes the brightest display yet. It can go water resistance to 100 meters for extended dive capabilities. It can withstand temperature resistance from extreme colds between -4 Fahrenheit and 131 degrees Fahrenheit. And has 86 decibel siren that can be activated and heard 600 feet away. And so that's important if you're like running or riding and you fall on a trail. Apple Watch Ultra features a redesigned case profile made of aerospace grade titanium as well as a flat sapphire crystal with an extra large 49 millimeter diameter. So what does that really mean? So it's a bigger device. It's more rugged. It can go in water deeper. It can go, skiing or out into the Arctic, as long as it doesn't get too cold. And the biggest thing is it's got a button on the left-hand side. So it's always had, the crown and like a button on the right, but now it's got a button on the left that can be assigned to different functions depending on the app you're in. So if you are thinking about this from an athletic standpoint, the biggest gap was the stopwatch function was not that great. So doing cycles in terms of like your split times wasn't the most easy, I would say. And so I'm guessing that this is going to address sort of that sort of thing, which is kind of cool. I'd love to see this in person. I've got a smaller wrist, so 49 millimeters might be a little much for me, but we'll see. I'm sure I'm going to go over to an Apple store. I actually need a new phone case here, so probably go check it out and see what it's all about. All right, so the next story is talking about making a house track in Serato Studio. And so this one, I'm not going to go into too much in terms of what the video is about, but I'll give you guys some overview on why it's important. So there are many DAWs, digital analog workstations, and the biggest ones are Pro Tools, which is basically just a framework. You've got Reason, which a lot of people liked in the early 2000s. Ableton, which came into vogue in the 2000s and then just blew up since then. You've got Logic by Apple, which has more plugins and VSTs, virtual synth instruments, and that's what that is. And down the road, and there's a couple others. Serato, which had been known mostly for DJ software, so the DVS, digital vinyl solution, came out with a studio version. And so they, if you're familiar with Serato, it's like the no frills, just basic kind of workhorse, very stable, less is more, get it done approach to DJing and having a sort of setup with your control vinyl or controllers. And Serato Studio kind of takes that sort of ethos and applies it to making music. And A-Trak, who is arguably my favorite DJ, has a record label Fool's Gold, makes a ton of music with his brother Dave One, with the Brother Malkovich projects. He actually went and put together I think it's about 20 minutes of how to make a house track in Serato Studio. So you'll see this isn't like crazy layers with, all sorts of VSTs and plugins and, automation. It is just, here's how it works. It's using some slicers, I think, which, are just like pre-made loops. So if you've ever wanted to check out making music and you've been a little intimidated by, let's say, jumping into Ableton or jumping into Logic, just because there's just so many features and it's just like, okay, I just want to start. And this might be the right place for you to go check out. In the Northeast, we're getting a little cold here. And so I start to think, okay, what are the things that I can do in my house? And this year, my two goals sort of inside my house from a creative lens is, one, to make a couple songs, and I'm going to check out Serato Studio, and I'm going to try it. And then the second one is to start playing with the two guitars that I've owned since almost 2 weeks before the pandemic, and still haven't really given much of a use beyond just having them look slick behind me during conference calls. But go check out Serato Studio. Don't forget to check out A-Trak on YouTube and Instagram. He's got some great mixes out there and some great tutorials. Okay, so the fourth story was interesting to me. And when I saw this story, I was like, no way. So Polaroid is entering a new space today. The American company has unveiled its new music players. The quote is, "Great musicians and photographers capture what we can't always express with words," said Polaroid's chairman. They make us feel we're new in the music world, but we want to bring as much color and emotion to the space as we can. We're excited about the new chapter, and we're still being as committed as ever to instant photography. So it's like, hey, we've got something new, but we're not abandoning something that's old. So the core of the players, and there's a couple of them, and there's like almost like a little pocket version. You know, it's like one speaker, then there's like a little boom box, and then a bigger speaker. At the core of the players, Polaroids, is an ad-free, evolving stream of FM stations that are available in the US, Canada, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Sweden, Portugal, Austria, and more coming soon. The player's analog dial is designed to change Polaroid radio stations without picking up another phone, and there are great additions of any group gathering. So, like I said, there are actually 4 versions: the P1, P2, P3, P4. There goes from $60 up to $289. And from looking at these are like something out of the 70s with a modern flair. There's something, very nostalgic, not to be surprised since Polaroid did design them. And I like the fact that, they're doing something a little different with the mobile app that they're bringing along with this. And I obviously haven't seen it, but they basically allow you to have this little player, and I suppose you have the music app that works with it, and it connects to the music app, I guess, to get that content. But it's cool. Like I said, there's 4 devices, 2 sort of like boomboxy looking ones, 1 larger speaker, and then 1 smaller one. And for $59, I might just get one to have and sort of mess around with just to see what it's all about. The mobile app looks really slick, so whoever designed this, hats off to you in terms of pulling this together. And I'll be interested to see how this resonates with a younger audience, and how they start to use, curated artists and tastemakers to pick out this music. I'm always impressed with how they do that. From the looks of it, they've tapped, 15 or 20 people to start curating playlists. So we'll see more about that in the future. So the next story is talking about deadmau5. deadmau5 is a DJ, producer, and I would say brand builder. That's probably not a title he would give, but I'm going to give that to him. He's also been linked to various technologies over the years. The OSC Pilot is something that I've kept my eye on for a very long time. Used since 2013, the OSC Pilot is now available to everyone. And so what is it? So there are these things called lemurs. They're touch screens. If you've ever seen Daft Punk play live, through one of the like music video awards or their live streams, or if you saw them in Disney's Tron, you know that they use these touch controllers that literally look like they're out of a movie. Everything's on a screen. It's touch screen. You can change the colors. They typically use these bright sort of neon colors against, very rich black screen, so it just looks very dramatic. The lemur was a piece of equipment that was out a couple years ago, and it was thousands of dollars, and then they eventually launched an iPad app, and I'll be honest, it just wasn't that great years ago in terms of just trying to connect. It was a whole pain. I could never get it to work, and so they've launched the OSC Pilot Dead Mouse controller, and you can have it using any sort of control surface, so like a Microsoft Surface. The images online, I think he's actually using a Microsoft Studio, which is that big 26-inch touchscreen. You can also use it on an iPad. And so I haven't tried it yet, but I'm planning on trying the iPad edition. It's for $49, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. I can't confirm nor deny, but my guess is the review will end up on one of your favorite DJ websites in the near future. Go check it out on daileyblend.com. We, of course, included the link to it, and then we also included a video of Deadmau5 sort of using it and talking about it. All right, guys. Well, that wraps it up for this week's edition of the Monday, special edition Monday Top 5. As always, like, follow, and subscribe Dailey Blend on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, etc. You can get the Dailey Blend Show on all great podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Spotify, and we publish them onto YouTube. And don't forget to check me out on Instagram and Twitter at ReadDaily. This week I am mostly in Chicago for a conference, so check me out if you are around the ACG event. And I'm heading down to Austin, Texas in a couple weeks for an event. So if you are in the Austin area, August 12th through the 14th, hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. And don't forget to check out Dailey Blend. Over the last couple weeks, we've had some great interviews with DJ Shorty, with my favorite new watch brand, and many more. So, enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll catch you later this week for the Friday Top 5.